Hey everybody! Okay, so today I'm going to be building my JB QAV-S Josh Bardwell edition with Shark Byte. And I'm going to start with the frame. I've got, so what I've got is a Velox ESC, Velox motors, reusing an old flight controller, because the only thing that's knackered on this is the actual visual aspect of it. The OSD and camera doesn't work with the VTX because I blew it up basically with electrostatic charge or whatever it's called, but the UARTs still work, so the Sharkbite system doesn't need the normal camera connections on this. So I believe I can reuse an old flight controller that basically the VTX doesn't work on anymore with this system, which is handy, because if anybody ever electrostatically fucked their flight controller, you can rescue it using Sharkbite. So that's what we got. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm just going to skip to the interesting bits, and if there's anything I need to show you, I'll use an sort of an overhead zoomed in camera on this little work area here. So I'm going to carry on and build this frame, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so that's the first part of the frame constructed. What I will do now is probably stick on the motors. I've got these lovely little race wires, these LED race wires, which I might include in the build, and get the ESC, get those wired up. So starting with the motors, lovely special edition Velox motors, go with my lovely Velox ESC. Right. Back in a sec when I've got that done. Okay, so I've got 4 motors wired to the race wires. Next step is to slam an ESC on there and wire the motor race wires up to the ESC. So I'll get on with that. Okay, so that's my first bolt in place, and you're going to see that just by putting them couple of washers on, that has given me just literally just enough clearance. But only just. But that's fine, I'll take that. Okay, so that's all 4 bolts installed. Left them a little bit of wiggle, I haven't tightened them down completely. Motor there. This is the Esc Wiring Diagram. Lovely. Go in here. Nice. And it also comes with the XT60, a wire, and a capacitor. And the capacitor even comes with little colours. Shame I don't do red and black though, only black. That's pre-installed with gummies. And that is the back of the quad, so that should sit there nicely. It does. I can wire up my, actually, just while I wire up my this, I'm just going to seat it that way, just so I can work on it a bit easier. Okay, so that's tinned up all the pads on my ESC. I've got my battery lead connected. Not 100% certain that I really want it that long, but hey, you know, I'll go with it for now. Everything's tinned. Just got to install these motors, wire them to the ESC, and then we'll see where we go from there. So I'm just gonna take a screw from the kit, up through there, into the motor. I need a big one, do I? Yeah. Look at that. I'm going to take some double-sided tape, roughly the same length as the race wire. Roughly the width of the race wire, just about half of this. That's going to sit there like that. And then we'll wire each one to the ESC. So I'll just get on with that. Okay, so that's that all soldered up nicely. I guess next is to marry the flight controller to the ESC and see if we can get the motors to spin. And that'll be a good job. Okay, so we are now at a stage where we would normally take the plug from the ESC and plug it straight into the flight controller, but as you can see, these two don't actually match. I probably do have a plug that I could re-pin to fit straight into there, but in my experience of trying that is I'm just no good at it. It fails every time. So what I'm going to do is strip and tin these wires, cut that plug off, strip and tin the wires, and then I'm going to use these pads on the bottom of the flight controller to solder them directly to it. So I'm going to get on with that. Okay, so I've stripped them, tinned those. Now using my funky wiring diagram, I can literally take each wire and I know exactly where it's meant to be. This is well labelled, so we should all be good to go. So I'll get that done. Okay, so now that's done, this is our first chance to check that it's all working. So I'm just going to give that a few twists. I'm going to put the flight controller on backwards, which may seem a little confusing, but the reason is I plan to mount the receiver in the front, and the receiver tabs are here and the VTX is going at the back, and I can power it and get spare UARTs here. So there's absolutely no wires going anywhere near this gyro chip, which can be a little bit hazardous, but that's as far as we've got so far. So now what I can do is plug it into the computer, put a battery on it, smoke check it. In fact, let's do that now. And hopefully we'll get doo-doo-deed, doo-doo-deed. And if we don't, or if we blow it up, then that's the end of the video. So here we go, no smoke, no smoke. Okay, we even got a little flash of LEDs there. We've got no smoke, nothing like that, so I think we're good. Good to continue. Let's check the motors and the motor direction. Okay, so here we are in Betaflight Configurator. I'm going to plug this in for the first time. And, well, I think it's the first time. Because I've reused this flight controller, it's actually not the first time. This is HDzero F4, so let's go. First thing we want to do is update the firmware. I want a HDzero F4, which is going to be way down here. HDzero F4. Latest release 4.2.9. Full chip erase, manual build weight, blah blah blah. Yes, load firmware. Flash firmware. Okay, we're done. Successful. Right, let's reconnect. Apply custom defaults, always, yes. That is done. Warning, accelerometer hasn't been calibrated, so we're going to set her up. We'll just calibrate this accelerometer because that is near enough level. Okay, now one of the things that we have done is, can you see as I tip the quad forwards on the screen, it's moving backwards, and if I tip the quad backwards, it's tipping it forwards on screen. So we need to go to, I think it's the configuration tab. Or it might even be just on that tab. No, it's not on that tab. Configuration. I'm just doing a couple of things here that yaw degrees. So there, this one we need to set to 180, and then we'll save and reboot. Connecting, and now hopefully when I pick this up, yeah, it leans the same way as the actual quad itself. So now we can go to motors tab and see what our motors are doing. I realise this is quite a long section of the video and it's not particularly entertaining for people, but hey, this is an important part of setting up your quad. Okay, now I understand what I am doing, I understand the risks and the propellers are removed, so what I need is to... Okay, that is not the motor I was expecting. Okay, so 1 and 2 are the wrong way round. And 3 and 4 are the wrong way round. That is possibly because I have moved the board 180 degrees. So it now thinks the wrong motors are in the wrong place. But that's alright, I'll fix that and then we'll get back to this. Okay, so what I've done here is I've just typed in resource at the top, and now it's showing me where all the motors are identified on the microchip. Each pin on that microchip relates to a number on there, and what I need to do is remap those numbers. So I can see that motor 1 is C08, number 2 is B06, motor 3 is C09, motor 4 is B07. So what I want them to be is 2, 1, 4 and 3, like that. That's what they currently are. This is the way I need to remap them. So I'm just going to set those resources up in Betaflight. I won't film that. Okay, so hopefully that has done it. Let's just plug in a battery again. And motor 1. Oh my god, yeah. Agree to the terms and conditions. Spin it out, that's motor 1, perfect. Motor 2, perfect. Motor 3, perfect. Motor 4. Okay, now, one thing I have noticed, I think that motor 1 and 4 are spinning the wrong way. Just going to check that. Yeah, that is. And motor 4. Yeah. Moving the opposite direction to what I want. And because I am a lazy bastard, I can just resolder these. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, this is the exciting part. The motors are all right. They're spinning the right direction. They're numbered correctly. Now we get to the video transmitter. And this one comes with this handy little bracket that has 20mm, 25mm and 30mm mounting points, which will allow us to use the 20mm mounting points on the back and mount the video transmitter in a diamond, sort of like that. So that's what I'm gonna get on and do. Let's get on with it. Okay, so that's nicely fitted on there. Before I actually mount the video transmitter, I'm just going to tin these pads and put the wires on, and we should be good to go. And there we have it, mounted on, nice and neat. I think that'll do well. I'm not going to bother with that bolt at the back there because I don't want to drill through the frame. I think I might damage the structural integrity of it. So now I can wire these up. Okay, so that's soldered that up to my board. TX to RX, RX to TX, red to power, black to ground. Make sure there's no solder bridge there. There isn't. Lower solder's down there. Okay, we're all good to go. Now let's have a look at the camera. Camera is the Runcam HD. It comes with a little MIPI cable, but I don't think that one's going to be much cop to us. I've got an extra long MIPI cable here. And now we're going to see if this actually all fits. So this MIPI, I believe, only go on one way. Okay, that's clicked in place. What I'm going to try and do, I think, is take it underneath the flight controller. And hopefully that's long enough to reach right the way to the front. And I've already lost the case. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's got to go into there. I don't know which way up this is meant to go. So, I know that this only fits one way, and that's the way. So, take some of these. Bolts here. I'm going to guess that it's the long one, it has to go through the additional camera mount. I'll go through there like that. Camera. That's tight enough for now. This side. Okay, and let's see if that's going to fit. Yeah, it fits nicely. Beautiful. Okay, one thing you should never do is power up a VTX without an antenna on it. So I'm just going to attach this UFL connector here. These things are horrible, hideous connectors. Do hope that Fat Shark move to MMCX connectors because they're so much nicer. That's not there. That is going to come around like that, hopefully. And then I've got my 3D printed part. Which which I've probably got a drill, which hopefully is going to be made out of TPU eventually, but that will go there. The antenna just sits on the back. And that'll do it for now. Now we are able to power this up and check to see if the video is working. One thing I might as well do before I power down my soldering iron is actually solder up the receiver, just going to the front end. I might as well do it now, and then I can power it up and check that the video is all working. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, that's basically it. Drone finished. It's all there. I got an extra plug in case I need to flash the firmware for my receiver, but we've updated the flight controller. We've still got to update the Shark Byte and the receiver. But yeah, apart from a few technical issues, we're basically almost ready to go. All good. Okay, there's the exciting part. Sharkbite receiver module. And that basically sits on the front of the goggles. It's meant to have a little mount. Well, the mount will work with Fat Shark goggles. I don't know if it works with these goggles. I don't know what that is. Interesting. There it is. A little mount in the plate. I don't know if that fits with this. Looks like it will do actually. Okay, that's on, that is working, that part of it, so let's just plug this in. No smoke, no smoke, no smoke. No smoke. Do we got a picture? Oh, we don't have a picture. So here she is, all put together, finished off. FPV camera in the front there, purple props, purple everything except the back. I still haven't managed to print out a TPU one of these yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Take it for a fly.